It had to be kind of interesting. I was thinking the first EP came out in 82. 82. So you went through all of that, and it was, hard rock and metal, and then Seattle became grunge. What was that like for Queensryche at that time?
Well, I mean, we had a really great run in the 80s and 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And, this happened like overnight. I think we were on tour and this explosion of grunge happened. But for us, it was, we've built years and years of touring a fan base
right.
that followed us anyway. So, it wasn't just that grunge changed the music. It was like the whole industry was starting to change. It was the beginning. Technology was coming into the factor,
right.
and everything had kind of gotten a little stale, I think. So, you had a new crop of kids that wanted something different, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but for us, we're anchored in that, metal, progressive
right.
metal, hard rock, and there's always been an audience for it. So for us, it was just concentrate on the music, all the outside chatter, let it do its thing, and we'll just keep doing what we do.
Because I think what a lot of people who are outside of Seattle don't realize is this is really a town bred in rock. Grunge was just kind of like after the fact. This was always a rock town.
I think so. I think Seattle's, as far as the musical community, is very diverse.
Absolutely.
There's all types of great alternative music.
Mm-hmm.
There's a great jazz scene, blues scene, and but when we started, it was all about the hard rock, the metal. We wanted to do what was happening over in Europe and the UK.
Right.
And so we gave our,
So who were your inspirations then?
We were listening to like Iron Maiden and Dio and obscure bands like Tigers of Pantang.
I remember them. Yeah.
Crocus, all those bands from back then. But a lot of the bands that had two guitar players, that's
mm-hmm.
what we were really fascinated with. That you could write songs that kick ass and have dual guitar leads, and that was super fun as a guitar player.
Right. And Todd, you grew up in Florida. What were you listening to? What inspired you?
Oh man, a lot of different stuff. My mom, she was a huge fan of a lot of the R&B and Motown stuff. So,
oh yeah.
In the house, she was always listening to like Teddy Pendergrass and just some Michael Jackson and George Benson and Al Jarreau and into jazz stuff. And then, my dad, they were divorced, but when I go to my dad's, there was a lot of like Earl Klugh and Steely Dan and Billy Joel and that kind of stuff. So, I was exposed to a lot of that in my very young years. And then when I got into rock, I was a huge fan of like Tesla and Dokken and Rat. And those were like my
classics.
Bands. And then it morphed into Testament and Anthrax and Slayer and much heavier things. And of course Iron Maiden alongside of Queensryche. Those were my two favorite bands. And so once I heard that kind of operatic power metal kind of singing, it just captivated me, and I was always really drawn to those kinds of vocalists.